What's going on, everybody? It's Blighters back again on the Dragonflight beta. Today we're doing Uldaman, and it's an oldie but a goodie. So let's get this started then. So I feel like Uldaman's going to be one of those like big pull dungeons, right? Where you kind of just go in. You can pull like this whole room. You can do this dungeon in like very few pulls because these mobs, at least right now, don't really do a lot of damage. See, I'm just in Incarn right now, thrashing away, moving forward. We're going to move to the first boss. The first boss is the Lost Vikings. I think it's the Lost Vikings. Even if it's not, I'm calling them the Lost Vikings. Get out of Brutal Slam. Oh, I got stunned. Just showing you what not to do, by the way. That's what we're doing. Showing you what not to do. So you'll probably see me shift in and out. I do have Ursine's Vigor, I believe is the name of the talent. I don't know why I just opened up my talent thing. But you got a quick look at my talents, so there's that. So Wild Cleave, you gotta just face away from the group. And this Baylog does Wild Cleave. Defensive Bulwark, you want to kick or have somebody kick. And the other one kind of just like dagger throws. So they're gonna hop up in their little ship now. And then you just kind of DPS them. There's a magic dot that goes on people if you get hit by the cannons, I believe. So I believe it can be dispelled. I'm not entirely sure. They call me the Skull. Just kind of finish this one off. And then they're done. And we move on. I think this is going to be another one. The dungeon, like we may have 5 bosses in this dungeon, but the dungeon's pretty quick where you're kind of just like slamming through, right? I'm going to also pull these. I'm going to come around here in the hopes that everything groups up. Oh, I got stunned. We are not playing well this morning. But sometimes that happens to the best of us, right? Right, next boss. This boss summons a totem and adds. So you're going to want to pick up the adds and then pull the boss near the totem. If the adds are up while the totem's up as well, pull the adds over there as well. When you kill the totem, it stuns them, so get out of Thunderstrike. Totem should be coming up shortly. There's a Quaking Totem. Summon it over here. You just kill it. It'll stun all the enemies inside of it. See? Boom. Stunned. Then you just beat them up. Kill the boss. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Waiting to see what the mythic mechanic is. Hopefully that is this week. And then we can have some real fun with this boss. And this is where the old dungeon stops, because now we're going to go through this door instead of going down this way like we would in the old one. So we come down this one, and then it moves to like the Sethic part of the dungeon, where I think I'm just going to run all the way down here. Yep. So we just pull through this. Trying to get these all up. I'm assuming Stone Bolt is probably going to do some damage later on. He also does Hail of Stone, which just does damage to random people. So there's a bunch of like random damage in this dungeon, which things like Grievous will make this dungeon difficult. This boss is pretty easy. So you're going to see two people have this circle around them. That is going to drop this orb. If anybody walks into it, they get stunned. So you want to take the boss through 3 of them because he has 2 protective shields. So 2 of the times he won't get stunned, and then the 3rd time it will get stunned. So it's much easier if your DPS cooperate and they put it, at places where it's easy to kite the boss through, rather than just at the edges of the room. So there we go. You'll get 2 of them will be able to be positioned. 1 of them will be random. And then the 3rd one, stunned. That's pretty much this fight. That's all you have to do as a tank. And we shouldn't need to use these because the boss should be dead before they come out. Boom, boom, boom. I always go the wrong way after this one. And then we do another huge pull because we're bears, and that's what we do. Probably just going to pull around this corner because if everybody follows me over here, get a nice incarn off. Somebody wasn't LOSing because this guy's still casting at them. There we go. So yeah, I think this is going to be a bunch of like really big pull. Well, this dungeon will be just big pulls through and through, which I think, which Guardian Druid excels at. Just huge pulls every like 3-ish minutes. Though it's actually a little bit less because of the incarn talent. I don't know if it's necessarily down to 2 minutes. I haven't actually timed it. But it's something I'm going to be testing in the future. See because if we can get incarnate down to 2 minutes, then we're actually pretty good. It's actually kind of right where you want incarn, because it lines up with most DPS cooldowns, so you can kind of just go big all at the same time. So we will see. We will see. Now we go into the 3rd boss, the 4th boss. I always forget that the Lost Dwarves are a boss. Saw the evoker pull me there. It's probably one of the most annoying things about them, is they're just gonna pull me for no reason. Alright, so this boss, you see everyone with a shield is one that has to die in order to break the boss's shield. So I'm gonna survival instincts this because I don't want to move. And then I'll roll my group and we'll come over here and we'll kill this one. I don't have an instincts for this one. I actually don't think it's going to do that much damage. I'll bark skin it. It is heroic. I'm pretty sure you're not going to be able to do that on higher difficulties, so that should be interesting. I feel like this is probably going to be the worst boss on Tyrannical. It just does so much AoE damage, and I think people they're not going to be able to deal with it. Well, I mean, they will be able to deal with it, but it's going to be very, very difficult on really high keys. We had somebody die. I don't really have a bark skin here, but I'm just gonna run through it. Maybe. Okay, so on heroic it actually does like 0 damage. I'll probably get this other guy up. We do have a death knight to get him up as well. But he's just like standing behind me. Didn't even know he was behind me. Interested to know how that person died. Come to me, my friend. There we go. And then it's this way. I always get turned around in this dungeon. Even though it's pretty much a straight line. So what we're going to do is we're going to do another big pull. Just going to go to the next boss, basically. This one is a little bit more spread out, so I don't know if it's necessarily worth going to the next boss with the pull, but you can definitely run into like here. I am looking for an incarn pull though, so I'm going to pull all of these. My group is DPSing back there, so they're getting beat up. I am fine though, I will hit. So you can't stun the Tears Infusion with the bubble. There's a lot of random damage going out, so you kind of want as many kicks as possible. But yeah, it's kind of like how I like to pull this dungeon. I just like doing huge pulls. I mean, I am a Guardian Druid, right? We should be doing huge pulls. Then we'll run in here, we'll do this pull, and then we'll pull the... Well, we'll start the infinite Dragonflight part of the dungeon. I don't know why I'm stumbling over my words. It is kind of still early in the morning. Maybe that's why. Curse of Stone. I'm not entirely sure what Curse of Stone does. Because I never see myself with the debuff, so I think it's just cast on a random person. So we'll figure it out. Start the Infinite Dragonflight. There's like 2 or 3 pulls before we get to this last boss. You can kind of chain them into each other if you do exactly what I just did, where you just kind of just press W and run forward. Which I think I'm going to do anyways. We're just going to W through. I'm going to stamp roar, and we're just going to W through. Yeah, because like the boss is right there, so we're just going to do all these pulls together. Hopefully my group can survive the onslaught. This I feel like it's going to be a like difficult pull. You can already see we're taking a ton of damage. There's just a bunch of random casts that go out from the whelps. But we made it through. The healer died, but that's okay. We just res the healer after. That's probably not a pull you want to do on like a higher dungeon. Higher key level, I should say. I'm not sure what defensives they use there, but then we come into the last boss. Does some RP before he activates. This boss does a frontal sand breath attack, so just don't face him towards like the rest of the group. And then he's also going to drop a bunch of sand orbs on the ground. When they're on the ground, they reduce your haste by 50%. When he depletes his energy bar, then he goes into like a reverse time, and he starts pulling them off the ground. And then if you stand in them at that point, it increases your haste by 50%. So I feel like you're probably going to want to lust at the start while like we're ramping up to get the increased haste. I'm going to try to pull him in between these. So that way DPS can just stand in them. For right now, when he does rewind time flow, you stand in him and then you have a 50% increase haste. You can kind of just probably save your CDs for this and then just pump. And you come out and we rinse and repeat. Pretty easy fight. Not too difficult. Interested to see what the mythic mechanic is though. Actually, I'm interested to see what the mythic mechanic is on all of these fights, because it's kind of like Huruk doesn't really, you can't really get like you can't really gauge like what the fight is like on anything else. I'm kind of not moving him right now. That's bad on me, but he was like spell queuing for a while, so I thought his energy was gonna deplete faster than it did. It's no excuse though. Dragon's dead. And yeah, so that's Uldum, Legacy of Tyr. And hope you guys enjoyed all of that. And we'll see you in the next one.